Fellow Nigerians, if you will recall, a couple of years ago, I, on behalf of Atlantis TV, presented to you a video enumerating the problems that faced Nigeria at the time. And we also made a promise to profess solutions to those problems that we identified. But in the intervening period between then and now, what we discovered is that these problems in and of themselves could not be solved. I'll give you an example. After the EndSARS riots in Nigeria in October last year, we were prevailed upon to do an expose or to write something or do something or suggest something about police reform. But while we conducted our research, we found out that there's nothing we can suggest, there's nothing we can say about police reform that will make, it might make sense to some people. Yeah, people will say, oh, nice piece, well written, well said, and it will just end there. Because we do not have the infrastructure in place, we do not have the right people, we don't have the right mindset to implement any meaningful police reform. As a matter of fact, in that period, in October last year, I did discuss with a police commissioner friend of mine, and I asked him a few questions about police reform. And his response to me then was, and I'll quote him, "Victor, not before Yankee you go sit down to talk about police reform for Nigeria. You get to come home and talk about police reform." And my immediate response was, "Bros, not be from inside fire that they fight fire." This issue with the problem in Nigeria didn't fully crystallize in my mind until I had an extremely meaningful conversation, as I do, with a Nigerian friend of mine, Dr. Augustine Oswide. And as Nigerians want to do, every conversation eventually segues into the situation in Nigeria. So as we got talking, the situation in Nigeria came up. And my very good friend, Dr. Augustine Oswide, I'm sure he's watching now, introduced me to the concept of a wicked problem. I said, "Doc, what do you mean by a wicked problem?" And he said, "Victor, go do your research. I know you like researching." So I did. I Googled the term wicked problem, and the first response I got took me to a website called wickedproblems.com. And it is very interesting to note that Wicked Problem has its own website. And I'm going to read out to you, according to that website, the definition of a wicked problem. And I quote, "A wicked problem is a social or cultural problem that is difficult or impossible to solve for as many as 4 reasons. 1, incomplete or contradictory knowledge, the number of people and opinions involved, the large economic burden, and the interconnected nature of these problems with other problems. Poverty is linked with education, nutrition with poverty, the economy with nutrition, and so on. These problems are typically offloaded to policymakers or are written off as being too cumbersome to handle en masse. Yet these are the problems, poverty, sustainability, equality, and health and wellness, that plague our society, plague our cities and our world, and that touch each and every one of us. These problems can be mitigated through the process of design, and I want to repeat that. These problems can be mitigated through the process of design, which is an intellectual approach that emphasizes empathy, abductive reasoning, and rapid prototyping. Horst Riddle, one of the first to formalize the theory of wicked problems, cites 10 characteristics of these complicated social issues. 1. Wicked problems have no definitive formulation. 2. It is hard, maybe impossible, to measure or claim success with wicked problems because they bleed into one another. 3. Solutions to wicked problems can only be good or bad, not true or false. 4. There is no template to follow when tackling a wicked problem, although history may provide a guide. 5. There is always more than one explanation for a wicked problem. 6. Every wicked problem is a symptom of another problem. The interconnected quality of socio-economic political systems illustrates how, for example, a change in education will cause new behavior in nutrition. 7. No mitigation strategy for a wicked problem as a definitive scientific test, because humans invented wicked problems, and science exists to understand natural phenomena. So you can't use science to solve a wicked problem. 8. Offering a solution to a wicked problem frequently is a one-shot design effort. 9. Every wicked problem is unique. 10. Designers attempting to address a wicked problem must be fully responsible for their actions. Well, based on these characteristics, not all hard-to-solve problems are wicked, only those with an indeterminate scope and scale. So most social problems such as inequality, political instability, death, disease, or famine are wicked. They can't be fixed, unquote. Now, does this sound familiar? Does this make you think of Nigeria? So what do we do about it?
We intend to tackle this wicked problem and provide practical solutions. Please stay tuned and subscribe to Atlantis TV. We are on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Thank you.